Hello friends, Sonika here from Alvela Craft, and today I am sharing the new release by Expressions Craft. And in this video I will be sharing some techniques too. So this is the new release by Expressions Craft under IMMIX. The first product which I have is this Crackle texture paste white opaque, and this gives small cracks in your project. This comes in a bottle of 300 grams. This is the second Crackle texture paste white opaque, and the difference between both the texture pastes is this gives bigger cracks and the earlier one gives smaller cracks as compared to this one. This also comes in a bottle of 300 grams. Next what I have is this Art Essential Heavy Gesso in white color. So this is the newly launched Heavy Gesso. It is so creamy and very easy to be used. They have also launched their Heavy Gesso in black color. This is also a bottle of 300 grams. Apart from this, they have also launched their fairy dust in the blue as well as in green color. This is the blue color fairy dust. What I like about this is they have double opening so that the product is safe. So later in my video you will see I am using this. They have also launched this Magic Sparks, which comes in the packaging of 30 grams. Also they have launched this Sprinkle Glitz, which comes in packaging of 50 grams, and this is the fairy dust in green color. So this was the release by Expressions Craft. Now I'll be showing you guys how you can use these products. So these are the 3 projects which I'll be doing and sharing the techniques. So let's get started. Here I am using this plastic box, and I am using this Art Essential Heavy White Gesso, and I am using some tissues. These are the normal tissues. You can see the packaging of the gesso is very good, and they have lid for safety so that the gesso doesn't rise, and you can see how creamy the gesso is. Now what I am doing is just taking some gesso, applying it directly onto my plastic box. And after covering some area with gesso, I am taking up my tissues and randomly placing them over my gesso to create a very fine and nice texture. To make this technique, what I am doing is taking gesso, applying in some parts, and then placing over my tissues onto the gesso. So I am just covering parts. And now I'm just covering my full box with this tissue texture only. Later on, when it dries, you can use the IMMIX sprinkle mitts and decorate the box very well. So this is how the box looks like when it dries. So it is giving a very nice texture. So now let's move on to our technique number 2. Here I am using this ceramic plate, and now I am using the heavy white gesso, and I am applying this gesso onto my ceramic plate. After the gesso dries, now next I am using this dusty lavender chalk paint from Expressions Craft only, and just covering the ceramic plate with this. Next I'll use the Crackle texture paste from IMMIX. This is the new release which I have already shown, and now I'll cover this hole with this texture paste. Using the texture paste, I would recommend you to let it dry naturally to give it a more natural effect. You can heat set it, but it would look more good when you are letting it dry naturally. So this is how my ceramic plate looks like. You can see very fine cracks onto my plate, and I had let it dry naturally. So now let's move on to our technique number 3. Here I am using my journal page, and this is the handmade page, and I have covered the rest of the pages using this newspaper to secure it. Now I'll be using the black gesso and Crackle texture paste. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking both of these and mixing them together. So I'll take some parts of Crackle texture paste and some part of black gesso and mix them together thoroughly and very nicely to make a very fine paste. And after it gets mixed very well, I will apply it onto my journal page. Now my mixture is ready and I'll apply this mixture directly onto my journal page. Make sure that you're securing your journal pages with the newspaper so that the other pages doesn't get spoiled. I'm covering both of my pages with the mixture and applying it thoroughly, and after it is semi-dry, I'm using this fork and making textures with the fork. Here I'm randomly using the strokes and just applying the vertical lines as well as some horizontal lines. Make sure you clear out your fork very well with the tissue and just make the random lines onto your journal page. Make sure it is semi-dry. Now just have a closer look how the texture looks like onto my journal page. Background is still semi-dry, and now I am using this fairy dust in blue color and randomly applying this dust onto my journal page. Make sure when you are using, your surface is not completely dry as it won't stick. Now my surface is semi-dry, so it will stick very nicely. Now I'll share how it looks. So this is the effect which it has given. You can see the fairy dust. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial and the 3 techniques which I have taught you. So happy crafting!